Today I want to talk about dry fasting. So when I first heard about dry fasting, I thought it was ridiculous. I thought it was way out of the blue. And then the more I dived into it, I was like, wow, this is actually a really unique, profound tool that animals use, that ancient cultures have used to heal the body. So I experimented with it. And today I want to ask the question, is dry fasting the cure for everything? Can it be used to literally cure anything and everything, potentially, or not? And this is something that I just want to talk about, I just thought about it just about 10 minutes ago. I was like, dry fasting, like what is it about dry fasting? What's there? So I just want to sort of talk and allow my intuition to speak and just see what comes up. So for me, dry fasting is and has been a great tool that I've used, because what it does is it strips away every external thing that can fix us. Often when we suffer, we go into some form of suffering. We have a physical illness, we have depression or anxiety, whatever it is, something happens. We look for something outside of ourselves to fix that. Dry fasting is almost relying totally on ourselves. Well, it is, because nothing is coming in externally. So there's a shift that has to occur if you dry fast. There has to be a trust in life, and a trust in yourself, and the trust that life comes through you and expresses itself, heals you, rebalances itself in whatever capacity it needs to in order to rebalance your physical body. So on a physical level, dry fasting assists the healing process simply because no longer are you putting in substances into your body, so there's no toxins really coming in from the external world, well, as little as possible. And also the body goes into ketosis, so it starts actually burning up toxins from within the body and then excreting them mainly through urine. So this is something that goes on when you're dry fasting. And I think dry fasting is a profound tool. It's one that has to be obviously delicately, moved around, because it is quite an intense thing to do on the body. So if you're coming from a very average diet, heavy diet, I don't recommend jumping into a dry fast. That can almost cause trauma to the system because it's such a shock. So we want to be careful. We want to take our time. We want to listen to our body and naturally go into it after we've done some more fasts. But what I'm really interested in is, okay, would this have a lasting impact? I believe that sometimes it would, sometimes it wouldn't. Depends on the intention, depends on why you're doing it. If you're doing it to fix something, I've got this disease, or I've got this something coming up in my body, I'm going to dry fast and get rid of it, then I feel like that something is going to recreate itself maybe in a different form or different thing. It's not going to the root of why that thing is expressing itself. You're sort of just wanting something to fix it. And then I believe life will recreate something else. You'll be stuck in this pattern of suffering. Something's going to come up, and you're going to be in a pattern. And this is going to happen. So what you want to make sure that you do is realize that you're stuck in a pattern, that you're stuck in some disharmony, some disease, something. And instead of using dry fasting as a cure-all, fix-all, you want to realize that you're stuck, and in that moment of stuckness, you want to take back your power. You want to take back your responsibility and realize that it's coming from within. And the moment that you shift your perception that something outside of you created an illness within, to something inside of me created something disharmony inside of me, then there's going to be a huge reclaiming of your power. And this has the potential to shift a lot of things for you. So if you're coming from that space of, wow, I'm responsible for this disharmony in my body. I'm not sure how, but something has created it from within. Some disharmony, some thought pattern, some developmental trauma, some part of my consciousness that I'm ignoring. Something is out of balance, and that's creating this within me. Now, if I dry fast, can I rebalance and reharmonize this flow of energy within me, go to the core, take responsibility, and then recreate some new stream of thought pattern, include a part of my consciousness? That part of your consciousness might be not trusting life. So maybe you don't trust life. Maybe on a fundamental level, you don't trust life. This is a core subconscious belief that some people trust life, some people don't. Most people don't because of our upbringing. We were told no, we were smacked, we were told to sit down, shut up. A lot of us were abused or these things. Luckily for me, I wasn't. But a lot of people, I've gone to many retreats, many seminars, and it's amazing the amount of people that actually are either verbally, emotionally, or physically abused. So obviously, there's not so much trusting of life that's going on. Now, if you're doing a dry fast, for example, and you're like, my intention is to take responsibility, take my power back, realize that nothing external can really fundamentally change me because I'm responsible for me. And I'm going to use this dry fast to totally trust life. If you've done some fasting, maybe you want to do a 48-hour dry fast. Not recommending it. It's totally your choice. You take the power back for your health. Unless I'm working one-on-one with people, I don't give specific advice. I just share thoughts that come through. Now, when we're working one-on-one together, we obviously go into, okay, what is your specific needs and what's best for you at this right moment to take you to the next level? But I'm just making a generalized statement. If you've done some fasting, then maybe, let's just say a 48-hour dry fast. And if you go into that, taking back the power and with the intention of your system and yourself trusting your system that it's going to reorganize, rebalance, and reconstitute, restructure, and reharmonize things that have been out of balance to in balance, that's when I believe that you are employing something much deeper and much more transformational and much more healing than if you're coming from an angle of a mental thing like, I have to fix this, I'm just going to do a dry fast, push. It sort of worked, didn't work, no good. Or I'm just going to push really hard or whatever it is. But you're employing that spiritual nature, that trust in life, that subconscious mind for support, and that's when transformation occurs. So it can be a bit challenging for people who are stuck in patterns, who just want a quick fix, who want an answer, when it's like, well, it's actually about you taking responsibility for your life and reclaiming that for yourself. Now, some people aren't ready for that. Some people have to keep going for many years, seeking out something, some quick fix, some experience that's going to shift it all for them. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. So when there's that reclamation of power, when you bring it back into yourself and say, okay, this is mine to transform, this is me, and I'm willing to go the distance no matter what. And I know that I've somehow impacted this, I've somehow created this, and therefore I can uncreate it, I can recreate it, I have choice. And that's where freedom comes in, that's where personal power comes in, and that's where like a deep spirit and presence in this moment can really show up and heal. So when I was doing my training, detoxification, advanced training, there was a man there. Now I can't remember the full story, but he was there, he was also studying, and he'd actually jumped out of a plane and his parachute hadn't fully opened. He'd hit the ground and half his body was paralyzed. Now he did a dry fast, an extended dry fast beyond what I could comprehend, and he healed himself that way. So dry fasting can be very profound, but it can also be damaging. I know of other people who have done extended fasts and it's been damaging on their system because they've gone into it mentally pushing without listening to their body. And that can actually be damaging to the system. So, unfortunately, for those who are very logical, is it good, is it not good? That's the wrong question to ask. Is dry fasting good or not good? It's, is dry fasting good for me at this time? If so, for how long and when? That's a better question to ask. And then you really listen to your body. And if you don't have the capacity to listen to your body, then you can reach out to someone like me who can actually guide that process with you and for you, and we can actually join together and go on that journey. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about dry fasting today and my authentic views and whatever came up. And so there's physical things about dry fasting, but there's also such deeper levels of dry fasting. And one dry fast I did was in America, and I remember just at nighttime this energy just pulsed through me, and it was my energy. I wasn't getting any energy from external sources. I was just really pulsing through me, and I sprinted to the park, and I had music in my ears, and I just had explosions of energy pumping through my body. I remember I was dancing, I was sprinting, I was jumping, and I remember looking, it was nighttime, it was probably 9 p.m. And there was about 10 kids that were probably 15 or 16, and they were at the other end of the oval. And they were just like watching, and they were probably like, what is this guy? Like, I was exploding. And it was just my spirit. Something inside of me was like, boom, this is my power. It's authentic, it's true. And it was a deep spiritual experience for me. So I know the power of dry fasting, and the potential's there. It's just how you use it, when you use it, and whether it's for you at this moment right now. And for a lot of people, it's not for you right now. Dry fasting is not what your body wants or needs. But for some, it is. So really start listening to your body. And yeah, that's it from me. It's getting dark, so hopefully this video isn't too dark. But until next time, all the best on your journey.